You know where we are with that. It is Wednesday, April the 8th, 2026. You're listening to Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. So glad you are with us this morning. Middle of the week, lots of news to get to. Let's tell you about the weather real quick. Going to be beautiful today.
Oh, really?
77. Thursday, sunny and a high of 77. Friday, a little warmer, 81. Looks like the daytime high. Still no rain chances. And the same thing for the weekend. It looks like we'll be in the 80s. I don't see any rain, at least for the next 7 days or 8 days, which is not good. We don't need to get into a drought situation. And it's spring, and we need some Mother Nature rain to help with the pollen.
Pollen's beating me up, man.
Yeah, it's not.
Beating
we're
me
not
up
gonna
good.
Get that.
Beating everyone up.
Yep. Keep the
Yeah,
windows up. Stay in the air conditioning. You know, it's You know, it's so sad about springtime. It's like I was thinking about it yesterday. I'm like, why am I? What's going on in the house here? Why don't we just open up some doors and windows? It's lovely out.
Right.
And then I go, this is why we don't open the doors and windows.
Yeah.
Isn't that a shame that there's almost like 6 weeks that are just beautiful, and because of all the pollen, it's like, no, you don't dare open up the doors and windows.
You can look at it out the window.
Yeah.
It looks pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wake up in the morning, my eyes are glued shut because of all of the gunk that is coming through them.
Yeah, I'm dealing with the same thing.
It is brutal. But, hey, this too shall pass.
Yeah.
And then it'll become brutally hot, so much better.
All right. Then we'll just complain about the heat
Yeah.
instead of the pollen.
It's always something.
Isn't that the way it goes?
Yes.
Pollen. Okay, then the heat. It's summertime.
Yep.
Then fall. Oh, those pesky leaves. I got to get all those up. And then winter. Now it's too cold. I'm freezing cold.
Exactly.
And then we're back around to
Life is just miserable. That's what we're trying to say.
It's really not.
It's a disaster.
We're quite lucky where we're at.
Yes.
Very fortunate.
Difficult to complain. Yeah. Really, it's gorgeous, and we're going to try to enjoy these next few days, and do get out a little bit. But wear one of those masks.
Yeah, mask if you have real trouble.
Mask up.
I finally washed the car yesterday because the pollen was so bad on the back window.
You gotta.
But I looked this morning coming in from the parking lot. I was like, well, a lot of good that did.
Exactly. It's like it didn't.
Why did I bother?
Nothing.
Oh,
nothing even happened there. Crazy. Well, we got a lot of good news to get to, and we'll get to some of that in just a bit. eTech Communications, etech.cc, 2 phones or 200 phones, whether you need, the fastest, funnest, most involved phone that you can imagine that's got every bell and every whistle on it you can imagine, or just a standard, good old-fashioned multi-line phone for your business, you can count on eTech Communications Voice over Internet Protocol, VoIP. It's going to save you a bunch of money over that copper wire. You can get yourself a virtual assistant, call forwarding, even to your cell phone. All the bells and whistles you need, none that you do not. And most importantly, the price is lower. Service is fantastic, too. etech.cc, eTech Communications. Visit them online at etech.cc today.
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
A close call yesterday. But, a 2-week ceasefire with Iran has been agreed upon, which means the Strait of Hormuz should reopen if things go as planned. Pakistan was very instrumental in helping the talks between the U.S. and Iran. So for now, the fighting is supposed to be paused. Iran, however, continued to fire rockets into Israel last night, just after that deadline. You're like, well, wait, what are you doing here? President Trump has said that if an agreement wasn't reached by 7 o'clock last night at Central Time, our time, he would begin bombing and targeting Iran's power infrastructure and their bridges. So with about an hour to go, we got this ceasefire. The postponement is subject to Iran agreeing to, and this is what Donald Trump said, the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz. So the 2-week ceasefire will allow for the agreement to be finalized. Israel has also agreed to stop their bombing campaign against Iran. More talks are expected on Friday in Pakistan, but nothing is final until President Trump says so. Now, the other good thing is oil prices per barrel have now plunged. They're under $100. The stock market futures this morning are through the roof, over 1,000, and that may get even bigger with the news that maybe this is over with. And I say maybe because of who we're dealing with.
Oh, yeah, you can count on over the next 2 weeks Iran crab walking this thing sideways, backwards. Oh, we never agreed to that. I don't know what you. It's literally right here. It's in writing. This is what you gave us. So there's going to be more discussion. In the long run, they're going to try to backtrack on a bunch of stuff. And who knows, 2 weeks from now, we may be going through this all over again.
It could be. And how close we were to releasing some of those bombs in some of those areas that we talked about. And Iran, of course, using women and children around those power plants as a fortress. And you're like, oh, well, that's a good view right there. Way to go, leadership in Iran.
Very classy.
I am glad to see this. And Donald Trump really didn't have a choice in this matter, because you want to be diplomatic. You don't want to see loss of life. You want to try to negotiate this through. But hey, the Strait of Hormuz is on the list, but probably number one is no nukes for you and no enriched uranium. You're not building a nuclear bomb. You're not going to have the capability to do that. So I'm sure that's part of this plan and part of the agreement. We just haven't quite finalized it yet.
Yep. We'll get there.
Yeah, we will. An Alabama bill that would close primary elections is moving ahead at the State House after a very heated Senate committee hearing. HB 541, which is the SAVE Act, would require voters to register with a political party before they can cast a ballot in primary elections. Now, one of the arguments is that the current system allows for outside influence in party primaries. We've seen where primaries have been decided by those who don't even belong to that party. The bill was amended in committee and is now eligible for consideration for the full Senate. If it passed the House, it would need to agree to those changes before the bill could head to the governor's desk. So we got a little ways to go with this. Not sure that it will get through, again, because we're kind of limited on time here, and they better move on it quickly if they want this to pass.
It's a bit of a surprise how many people are against this, and yet you've still got folks in the GOP continuing to push hard on it. I'm not really sure I understand why, except you're trying to keep there from being like what was once referred to as Project Chaos, which is crossing over to vote in the other party's primary to try to make sure you get the weakest candidate possible. I'm not sure that you can marshal enough people to make that work. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know that you can marshal enough. Like Democrats couldn't get enough people to go vote for Roy Moore. Roy Moore didn't get that many votes, if you remember.
Yeah, I do remember.
In the primary. It's just that Republicans didn't show up. You know, so that's really where your problem lies, is maybe get out the vote campaign. But all right, we'll see what happens here. I'm not a fan of the closed primary. I never have been.
Well, like you said, we'll see where it goes. It might just die right where it's at. We'll see. Hey, you know, we take all vehicle recalls seriously, but this one you might not need to panic too much about. It involves Ford Motor Company and about 400,000 trucks and SUVs and their wipers. Apparently, there's an issue with possible wiper failure. That means the windshield wiper arms can break, causing, of course, reduced visibility and increased risk of a crash, especially during, a rainstorm. The recall covers more than 422,000 vehicles, including the 2021 to 2023 Ford Expeditions, Lincoln Navigators, and a range of F-Series Super Duty trucks, model years 2022 to 2023. So y'all just be aware of this. I don't really understand what's going on there and why these can break so easily. But dealerships will eventually inspect and replace those wipers free of charge. So,
You ever
take it
have a busted wiper motor?
I have not.
Steve
Yes.
has.
Yeah.
Ironically,
Yeah.
on my dad's Ford F-250.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I want
No, I had
Turn it
one.
on and it would run, it would go for a couple of seconds, then it would stop,
It would
and then
just-
it would act like its own intermittency.
Oh,
And it would go about
great.
3 inches, and
That's
then a
not
couple
what you
more
need.
inches, and then back. A couple
That's
inches.
not good.
Yeah, I had one on a Toyota that I owned. It just stopped working, and I brought, went to go get it checked from a mechanic friend of mine, and he gave me a price that I was just like, I do not have that money. So I went and got me a bottle of Rain-X.
Yeah.
I put it on there.
Put that
and
stuff on. It works
managed
great.
to get around without windshield wipers for a couple of months. But while I saved up for the $250, $300 for it, which was just insane, by the way, because those wiper motors are not that expensive.
Right.
But this Toyota that I owned, it was a Toyota Corolla SR5. As near as I could figure, every single part was made by one single small family in the middle of Japan, and was so delicate it had to be brought over on a ship. It couldn't be flown,
Right.
which is why it was always so expensive, and it always took forever to get there. And the day I got rid of that that vehicle was one of the happiest days of my
Couldn't
life.
have come sooner, huh?
I was something else. Hey, speaking of the weather, as we were earlier and getting out in it, one place where you don't really run across a ton of pollen, middle of a lake. You're out there in the middle of Lake Logan Martin on a boat from Rodney's Marine. You've got that Suzuki Power. You can maybe outrun the pollen.
Oh, you probably
Yeah,
could.
you could probably get going fast
It
enough
just
that the
goes
pollen
whiz right past you.
can't catch you. That's what I'm saying.
That's how that works.
Yeah, Suzuki Power's got that 5-year warranty on it, and you've got the Silver Wave or Starcraft pontoon or Tritoon. These boats have got some giddy up. They look absolutely gorgeous. You can put accessories on there. They've got these lovely, I don't know what you call them, like, canopies, I guess. Canopies, you can get lights for those canopies. You can get a killer stereo system so that you can dig on some tunes while you're ripping across the lake. Obviously, they've got all the skis and tow ropes and everything you could ever possibly hope for to make summer the absolute best in Alabama. Rodney's Marine, where their in-house financing and their low monthly payments is going to take great care of you.
Yeah, I like to. We love supporting local businesses like Rodney's Marine. And one of the reasons is he's truly one of the most down-to-earth, hardworking, nicest guys you'll ever meet. He's been there a long time, Rodney's Marine. Everyone out on Lake Logan Martin knows him. So you're dealing with somebody that's going to, take good care of you from not just the sale of the boat, but the life of the boat. Anything you got going on with the boat, he'll take care of it for you. Or if you want to buy an accessory, like Richard said, put that on yourself. These are just good people, and this is where you want to buy your boat and maybe up-power that Suzuki engine. They're good folks, and they're fun to deal with. And again, they'll take good care of you. Rodney's Marine, Highway 231, Lake Logan Martin, Cropwell, 525-1500, rodneysmarine.com, or visit their Facebook page.
Come on, do it. Do it.
Yep.
It's Dixon and Vining on Talk 99.5. Stick around. Science! 621 Dixon Dividing Talk 99.5 Talk and 99.5.com. Thanks for hanging out with us on this a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning. It looks like it's going to be a good one. 77 for a high today, 77 tomorrow, into the 80s for the weekend. Again, no rain in the forecast at all.
Nothing. Zero.
Nothing.
Zilcho.
Bupkis.
Yep.
Okay, let's take a look at, shall we, this ceasefire, as Donald Trump calls it. It's a double-sided ceasefire. All ceasefires are double-sided. They're supposed to be anyway. But Iran is still throwing missiles at Tel Aviv, so obviously they're not
last
taking
night
it
they were
seriously.
doing it. It was like, wait a minute, this was 2 hours ago.
Not taking it as seriously.
Were you trying to just lob a couple more before it's over with?
That happens sometimes.
Sorry, when did you say this was supposed to go into effect?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, was that Eastern
Now,
time? Was
stop.
that Eastern time or was
Double
that
check the
Central
batteries in
time?
my clock.
Yeah,
Did not understand.
here's where they probably were with it. Well, that's Donald Trump's timeline. We haven't, you know what? We don't have a time. We just said, yeah, we'll agree to a ceasefire. Well, when is that?
Yeah.
When does that actually
Yeah.
start?
Kick that in at some
So
point.
that's where they're at with it. We're going to lob a couple more of these because we can.
Looking at this from the political aspect, because everything is political, like it or don't, you're going to already have, and I've already seen this, people on the left are saying, well, we just gave everything they wanted. We gave Iran everything they wanted. Yeah, the Strait of Hormuz was open before the war. What was the point of the war? I mean, why did we even do that? Why did we go drop all those bombs and spend all that money? And we lost these service members. And, all that was to open up the Strait of Hormuz. No, it wasn't. It's amazing to me that you can give these people a list of your objectives. And the list of objectives were fairly simple. Obliterate their army, destroy their air force, sink their navy, and stop their nuclear program from happening. Those were the objectives.
That's the goals
Yeah.
in all of this.
Now, opening the Strait of Hormuz was something that came up later because they were closing it and shutting it down, which we kind of figured they were going to do anyway. It wasn't really that big a stretch that we could expect that. Oil is a global commodity, and even though we don't need their oil, it does tend to lessen the amount of oil that is finding its way to market, which means that the price of oil is going to go up, even in the United States of America with our own oil. People don't understand economics. It makes me a little bit crazy how people don't quite get this, that the guys that are pumping the oil in the United States here are looking around and going, do you know what they're paying for a barrel of oil right now in Europe? Why would we sell it in America for $80 when we can get $117 by selling it over there? So, yes, they're always acting in their own self-interest. They're going to get that $117, so they're going to charge $117 to us, and we are going to pay it because we need the oil. It's what America runs on, basically. So, but you've already got leftists out there claiming I don't know why, a victory for Iran or something like that. Look, we're not getting, aside from the overhead images of bombs being dropped and destruction that's taking place, we're not getting a good look at what's going on inside Iran and what kind of rubble and mess we're dealing with because there's no internet over there.
Yeah.
Starlink is the only thing that's operational, and that means about 1% of the population, which is 90 million people, is their entire population. About 1% has got some kind of internet ability, but we're not getting pictures. We're not, they're not able to post stuff up on X or put it on Facebook or anything. So for the first time, we're really dealing with a war in our lifetime. We're dealing with a war where we can't see the
What's
results.
going on because we don't have anybody on the ground there. Plus the fact you've got whatever leadership is left in Iran. I don't think they really know how much destruction has happened to their military and what they have left. I mean, they're getting it, by word of mouth. It's like, do you really know what's happened? Do you really know what Iran looks like? Do you know what's left and what you have and what you don't? I don't think they really have a very good idea.
Yeah,
of
second
that.
and third hand information because they're getting wiped out as quickly as they can rise up the ranks. I mean, you go, congratulations on the new Joe. It was nice knowing you. Okay. That's pretty much the way it's going over there right now. But that is where we stand, and you're going to see a bunch of lefties, The View and others, are going to come out and talk about how this is just a major loss for America and it was a waste of time and we never should have gotten involved in it and it was completely unnecessary. In the same way that we heard before the strikes in December, we heard Iran's nowhere near a nuclear weapon. And then, here we went and nuked them, and they said, well, they didn't do anything. That didn't fix the problem at all. There's still plenty of nuclear material there, and Iran, it didn't set back their program at all, despite the fact that Iran themselves said, this set us back pretty substantially. And here we are several months later, and it's like, all right, well, you're still trying. We have to go back in and do it again. And they say, well, they're not anywhere near a nuclear weapon. Really? Because after the last strikes, we were told that didn't slow them down at all. And they were getting closer and closer all the time. It's, stop rooting against America for the love of God.
You grow a little tired of that.
I do.
And again, we had the intel. We have the intel that they had the enriched uranium and that they were possibly getting very close to having a nuclear weapon. We don't need to wait till like, hey, today's the day we got a nuclear weapon. Oh, well, we better go in and take care of that. And again, think about what actual peace in the Middle East might look like. And did we ever believe in our lifetime that we would be talking about the possibility of peace in the Middle East?
If you can stop Iran from funding terrorism across the globe, you can stop them from continuing to pursue a nuclear weapon and get them to focus on the quality of life of their own citizens. That would be an amazing thing because we haven't had that in 42 years, something like that, 47 years, whatever it is. It's been a while since Iran showed any sign that they were interested in doing anything of that nature. Donald Trump tends to be the sunny optimist after something like this, and he says there's going to be a lot of positive action, and he's predicting a golden age of the Middle East. Oh, this is going to be the best ever. We're going to have this amazing golden age. Well, there's a couple of things that are going on that do kind of point in that direction. Number one, Iraq and Iran haven't been at war for quite some time. Syria's civil war got resolved. I mean, that thing went on for ever, it seemed, So Syria now has a new leadership there, and they're no longer warring with themselves internally. Saudi Arabia is on the verge of joining the Abraham Accords and recognizing Israel and actually becoming a trading partner with them, which would be
Huge.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that really would be.
And if Iran gets out of the terrorism business, starts keeping to itself and paying attention and stops, death to America, death to Israel, all that nonsense, you could actually see something akin to world peace for the first time in a long.
And everybody should want to, tout that. That's just a feather in Donald Trump's cap. Nice job if we can make that happen. That's a large order. That's a very large order.
Tall. Definitely tall. Grande. It's a venti. It's
but
a venti
if anybody could
do
it, I believe this president could.
He's got his eyes set on it. Anthony and Company Jewelers, 2080 Valleydale Road, next to Ragtime Cafe, the place where you can get yourself a special something for your sweetheart for Mother's Day. Maybe something for your mom as well. She'd probably like that. Get something specially made. Mother's rings with birthstones of all the kids, or you can get her a pendant or a necklace or something of that nature as well. They do specially design things or redesign pieces for you if that's what you're interested in, and all repairs are done in-house. So small and so big at the same time. Anthony and Company Jewelers. Oh, hello. Hey, hi. Oh, there we go. This will get fixed eventually, right? No? Maybe not. Okay. I get it. 6:35 with Dixon Dividing, Talk 99.5, Talk995.com. Wednesday is our day. Look at this. We're only a few weeks away from the Jawbone Jam.
Yeah, coming up on May 15th. So, yeah, when you think about that, 5 weeks away.
5 weeks away, and we'll be giving away some tickets between now and then. So make sure you stay tuned. We got some great stuff going on. The Knowles Group bringing us that, of course. Aqua Systems and Blakely's Bouquets also sponsors and will be present at the event, so try to get there. We're talking about Brother Kane and Cattle and
Stone Horses.
Stone Horses.
Yep, they're going to be there.
All three groups are going to be at Iron City. Going to be a good time, man. The weather will not matter this time for a change. We had one that was like super hot. We had one that got rained out.
Yeah.
This one is going to be inside. We should be fine.
Yeah, everything should be good.
That's our goal anyway.
Yep. Keep listening for your chance to win tickets.
See how this goes. Baby. Express Oil Change is doing something very cool. During the month of April, they are donating $1 to Children's of Alabama for every oil change they perform during this month. Got over $1.2 million that they have given to date to help Alabama's children get the care that they deserve. They're not just changing oil, they are changing lives. And Express Oil Change has got locations all over the great state of Alabama. Chances are good you already know the one nearest you. So I would suggest you get on over there. Getting your oil changed is essential to making sure that your car runs right. My father-in-law taught me this years and years and years ago. Oil is the mother's milk of your engine, and if you change it every 3 to 6 months, you are going to be in great shape. They'll give you a little sticker that tells you when you're supposed to change it and kind of keep you up to date on what's happening under the hood of your car. It's a nice little maintenance program. I love them. Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers. Like I said, they're all over the state. You can't go wrong. And during the month of April, $1 to Children's of Alabama for every oil change they perform. Express Oil Change, the home of the 10-minute oil change. When 2024 rolled around and California decided that it was time, this is another great Gavin Newsom plan, by the way.
Do those things go together? What did you just say?
Great Gavin Newsom
Great
plan.
Gavin Newsom plan. I don't know about that.
You wanted to up the minimum wage for fast food workers from $16 to $20. Now, many of us said, this is a bad idea.
Yeah. Why don't you check with the owners of these businesses how that's going to work for them?
Bad idea for a couple of reasons. In case you couldn't guess, number one, it's going to lead to higher prices because it's a cost of doing business. It's also going to lead to probably fewer employees. Anytime that you're forced to increase wages, if you have 10 employees working for you and you now have to increase $4 per hour, that is $40 per hour if you pay all 10 employees at the same time.
You're going to have to let go of somebody.
You let go a couple of people.
Yeah.
Now, you only got 8 employees, and it costs you a little bit less. And you say, well, then they're working overtime, aren't they? No, not necessarily. You begin to cut out overtime as well because it becomes a little bit too expensive to continue to run. Maybe you shorten the number of hours that you're open. And if you can automate, you do. McDonald's kiosk. I'm running across more and more of these, not that I'm wandering around inside of McDonald's, but yeah, I mean, you don't really have to do anything more than drive by one and see on the inside. You go, oh, all those people are standing at big screens.
Kind of makes sense.
Placing
I mean,
orders.
you know, we're when we check into the airport now. I mean, there's all these kiosks, and so that's, you know, eliminating those employees that you would have to pay. And it would make sense that if maybe you've got a fast food restaurant of some sort, you can, you know, establish the same thing. And not that I'm encouraging eliminating employees, but if you've got, again, this situation in California where it's $20 for minimum wage, you might have to invest in that little machine because in the long run, it's going to save you money.
Between the big screens that they have in the lobby of these places and the apps that they're pushing, driving these apps, they're always like, hey, get free fries if you have the app. Hey, join our club, get the free whatever. Oh, you can have a Frosty if you just become one of our Wendy's members. And next thing you know, everybody's got the app and they're ordering there. And by the way, this is not a bad thing, and here's why. I know I'm not the only one who experienced this, but I mentioned that every Friday was pizza night at the old Dixon household back in the day when I had a household. And, we would call and order a pizza. And there was a better than average chance that that thing was going to be
They didn't
wrong.
get it right, yeah.
Either they'd have the wrong crust on it, or there would be no sauce, or limited sauce. The ex-wife loved sauce. She was like, "Get extra sauce," and it would show up, and it would just be like dry as an old chip. And you're like, "What are you guys doing over there?" They'd get one or more of the toppings wrong. That would happen maybe 1 out of 3 times. Failure rate of 1/3. Once we started ordering these pizzas online ourselves,
Yeah.
it's amazing the turnaround, because you're the one, you're not relying on somebody on the phone writing this stuff down.
You're depending on the person that's making the pizza.
Well, yeah, but it's
But there's
all
one less
computerized.
person,
Yeah.
right? There's one less person in the way.
He's looking directly at the screen that you just sent him, and he's putting on what you're telling him to put on. Now, if he gets it wrong, sure, there's nothing you can do about that. But with one fewer person, you're right. That's where the change gets made. So, also, by the way, they have found out that people who use these kiosks order more. Yeah, because kiosks are not shy about saying, "Hey, why don't you throw a shake on there? Hey,
Yeah.
don't you want a McFlurry too? Wouldn't you like to have a, et cetera,
This
whatever?"
goes well with your meal. How about a
Yes.
flurry?
Hey, how about you upsize those fries a little bit? Employees behind the counter are like, "It's not my money. I don't care. I'll just give this guy exactly what he ordered."
They could easily do that.
Yeah, and I still might get the order wrong. You never can tell. When you're doing the kiosk or you're doing it on your app, chances are better that you're going to get the order right, and chances are better that you're going to order more. And that takes another person out of the equation, which means there's $20 less per hour you have to pay somebody. So shockingly, now we actually had researchers at the University of California, Santa Cruz, do a report on this thing and found that, yes, this actually had unintended consequences: increase in menu prices, loss of overtime and benefits, reductions in employee working hours, and an implementation of automation that replaces workers. Pretty much everything that was predicted by those of us who understand how these things work. And one of those people is not Gavin Newsom. He does not get it.
He doesn't, and he thinks that's a win. That's a plus if you can get $20 for your minimum wage workers.
Yeah.
Do you think your minimum wage workers are the ones that are going and voting? Is that kind of his?
Some of them probably are.
His
but
mindset is, hey, if I can get them $20, these are. Yeah, but what about all the businesses that suffer from you pushing through this $20 minimum wage?
Here's where we begin to come across as elitist. There's 2 or 3 things that we are on this show. One is on the porch complaining about those young whippersnappers.
You can learn a lot from that.
One is we're elitist pigs. One is holy rollers. But here's the elitist thing. We have got to get past the idea in this country that a minimum wage job is supposed to support a family.
That is,
It's
that's
not what it's
fake
for.
news. If you go into it thinking that,
Yeah.
then you're looking at it all wrong, and that's part of the push for it. When people say, "Oh yeah, I can't live off $15 an hour or $17 an hour,"
I got a family
right?
of
You're
4
not
over here.
supposed to.
No.
You're going to need a second job, and by the way, hopefully that will inspire you to, I don't know, go to school, take some online classes,
Yep.
maybe educate yourself a little bit more, do something more with your life.
Improve your skills. Move up the job ladder, not necessarily within that fast food restaurant.
Or you
but
could.
go
I mean,
somewhere
that
else.
could be your goal, where you become a manager and make a whole lot more money. Okay,
if that's what
as
you
long
choose
as
to
that's
do.
your goal, is to keep moving forward and moving up.
But you do have to keep moving forward, and not just to improve your own world, but because you have to vacate that job and make room for the next person who's going to come in and learn the job skills. McDonald's is one of the biggest employers of young people in the United States of America. It doesn't even begin to approach small business, of course, but it's a great learning place, and a huge number of people whose first job was McDonald's. And they used to have an advertising campaign that was based on that, where they went and talked to all of these famous people who were like, my first job was at McDonald's.
Yeah.
I learned how to show up on time. I learned how to follow orders. I learned how to this,
It's
that,
a
and the
great
other.
first job.
It is.
It is.
If you know what you're doing and you want to get in the food service industry, this is, a
or
great place for you
you're
to
looking
start.
for some extra money for the summer. You're a high school
or two.
kid and you need some bucks
Yeah.
for the summer.
But you do have to get out of the way and make room for the next group of people to come in so that they can have that first job and then they can improve and then they can get out of the way, which was one of the biggest arguments against that $15 minimum wage that was the big push a few years ago. It was like, oh, we deserve $15. $15? You
Deserve.
can't get the
See,
cheese on my burger right. Come on, man.
You just said the word. I deserve.
Yeah.
You know what you're deserving of?
Yeah.
Bettering yourself and making more money by working a little harder to get to that level.
Yeah.
That's what you deserve.
You're not supposed to take that job and hold on to it for life.
No.
And no minimum wage job is supposed to be designed to feed a family of four or to even support maybe even one person. You know, I mean, you're really not even supposed to support one person. That should be the job that you have while you're at school.
Yeah.
That should be the job
Again,
that
you need
have.
some extra money.
This would be a great job for a second income, like if the missus decides she wants to get a job, or if maybe mom is the breadwinner and dad decides he wants to go out, get a little extra spending money. This is what these jobs are designed for, not for supporting a family. They were never designed for supporting a family, and somewhere along the line, someone decided they should be, and we all lost our minds. It's insane.
It is.
And now we've seen with this experiment. By the way, we saw it in Seattle as well.
Yeah.
They jacked theirs up. Not there's a Seattle and then there's a SeaTac area, which is around the airport, and that area decided that they were going to go $22
That's
for their
insane.
minimum wage, and
It's
that
insane.
was 10 years
It-
ago.
It was my son a couple of summers ago while in high school. I encouraged him to go get a job at a fast food restaurant because I wanted him to see.
Right.
I wanted him to have the experience of getting grease on him and the floor being slick and making fries and burgers so that he would say, you know what, I don't want to do this long term.
Exactly. I found out what
I've
I
had
don't want to
fun.
do.
This is a good summer job, Mom, but
Yep.
I never want to do that again. It was exactly what I wanted him to say.
It worked out well.
It worked out well, and
Perfectly.
right. Or, like I said, hey, you could move up the ladder and maybe be a manager. He said, no, I don't think I care for this. And I was like, okay, good. Now let's move on to step two.
There you go.
What are you going to do step
What
two? Step
do
three.
we want to do? That's the real question. 647 Dixon of Vining Talk 99.5 Talk 99.5.com. Your thoughts are always welcome. 545-9950. Drop us a line, why don't you? 6:52. Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Download our app. Listen to us when and where you choose. You can text us from that app. You can call us from that app. You can watch us on that app. It's all-encompassing.
It's pretty cool.
The app knows all.
And it's free.
Yeah.
That's the best part. You
I
don't
do
get
like
much
free.
of that in life anymore, huh?
Big fan of free.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Wayne Mullen, new Department of Homeland Security Secretary, has a rather brilliant idea for sanctuary cities. You know, the courts have already ruled, no, you can't defund them. You can't not give them money. I still find that a little strange. I mean,
Right.
why didn't the federal government get to decide what they're going to give and what they're not going to give? The federal government should be able to say, well, you're not abiding by the rules.
So you're not going to
You
get
can't
federal
have any
dollars.
money.
Yeah.
We've certainly done that in the past when it came to getting states' drinking ages where they were supposed to be. They just took away highway funds, federal highway funds, and they finally gave them back when the state changed their drinking age to 21, which is what the federal government wanted. They did the same thing with seatbelt laws. They said, we can't pass a federal seatbelt law, but every state that passes a seatbelt law will get this much in federal funding for your highways, and every state that doesn't get that money. Oh, suddenly everybody passes a seatbelt law, okay?
Right.
So why can we not do this with sanctuary cities? I don't know. I don't understand. But Mark Wayne Mullen says, well, rather than threatening them with something like money, how about we just say, oh, you don't want to support the federal government by handing over your illegal immigrants when you have them in jail, which is all this is, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's all we're talking about.
It's very simple.
You've picked these guys up. They've committed a crime of some kind. Maybe they serve a little time in the Hooskow. Maybe they don't, but you've got them. And then you just contact the Department of Homeland Security. You call ICE and you go,
And they come get them.
we got 6 guys. Come pick them up.
Right.
And we'll, then you're shut of them as the city. You don't have to worry about them any longer. The Department of Homeland Security has them and can go ahead and deport them. So you say, look, you don't want to cooperate with that? All right, well, we're going to pull all of our Customs and Border Patrol agents out of your airports. So you can no longer accept international flights. International flights cannot land there. Now, imagine if you are New York City and you are a...
You got international flights coming in left and right.
Yeah, you're a sanctuary city, and suddenly you can't have any international flights land there. What do you do? I mean, either you stop being a sanctuary city, or you don't have any international flights, and those all end up going somewhere else. You end up having to land in New Jersey, or
That'd be a big problem.
It would be so inconvenient that I think it would make people scream and go, like, we need to stop this nonsense. We should stop this nonsense. I can't believe people aren't more upset about sanctuary cities when you look at Minneapolis and you look at the stuff that they were doing to try to stop very bad people from being picked up by ICE. And at one point, the Border Patrol agent, CBP, actually said to the people that were surrounding his car, well, congratulations, you're keeping us from picking up the rapist in that house. Good job.
Yeah,
You're
nice.
defending the rape. And they're like, we want to. We want to defend the rapist. You're like, really? You're proud of this?
Well, you might be next.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That person might commit a crime against you.
Or a family
That's
member
just-
of yours,
yeah, that's
or
just
a
brilliance
coworker, or
right
somebody.
there.
I mean, these are not nice people. ICE is not out there intentionally picking up people who just happen to be in the country illegally. But if they do run across them, like when they go into one of these workplaces,
That's a
and
possibility.
sometimes you'll
Yeah.
find 6 other guys that are there, and they're there illegally, and you go, well, we can't just turn our blind eye to this. This is what we do. This is who we are. We pick you guys up and we send you away. We have really increased the amount of money that we're spending on ICE and Border Patrol. Doubled it, in fact, in the big, beautiful bill, so that we've got that money to work with, which is why we're still able to do that despite having just passed the Department of Homeland Security thing. They finally came to a conclusion there between the House and the Senate, and they passed that bill that had DHS funding and funded the Coast Guard and funded TSA, and that crisis came to a close. It didn't fund ICE, and it didn't fund CBP. And people say, well, what's going to go on? These guys aren't getting paid. No,
Yeah,
they are.
They're getting paid.
The funding was already in there for the big, beautiful bill, but it does run out at some point. What the Republicans are going to do is they're going to fund it through a reconciliation bill, which means it only needs 51 votes in the Senate.
There you go. That's how you get around it.
They're doing it end around on this.
They sure are.
It gives the Democrats the chance to look like they did something and it gives the Republicans the chance to actually do what it is they want to do.
Give them the win.
How much of what goes on in Congress is them trying to look like they're achieving something rather than actually doing it? You know, I mean,
Wouldn't it be easier to do that? It's kind of like, the robber,
yeah.
that robs the bank. I said, wouldn't it be easier just to go get a job and do it the right way?
Try that on. See how it goes.
That boggles my mind. I'm like, you're in Congress for a reason.
Yeah.
You're there to make things happen, to do it the right way. Think about the American people. How do you make the American way of life better by doing some of the things you do? And instead, right, it turns into something political.
You know,
How do they look?
it's a little bit like the lottery situation in Alabama, though. If you say to Alabamians, do you think we should have a lottery? You'd probably get 65% of the people that say, yeah, we should have a lottery. And not because I want to play it, but because of all the money that's going to the surrounding
Right,
states.
we're giving it to everybody that butts up against Alabama.
And then you come up with a lottery plan. You formulate this plan, and you say, well, here's how the lottery is going to work, and here's where the money is going to go. And of those 65%, half of them go, well, I don't like that plan. And you go, well, but you said you wanted a lottery. Yeah, but I don't like that lottery. Now you're beginning to fragment the majority population. So it's tough to get something through Congress because they can all agree, yes, we should have better education. Yes, we should have stronger laws about this, that, or the other thing.
But it's how you get there.
Yeah, when you actually start breaking it down into detail, well, I don't mean like that. I don't like that way of doing it. I mean, do you like pizza? I love pizza. Great. We're going to get a pizza that's going to have these things on it. Well, I don't want those things. Okay. I mean,
and then it takes forever to figure all that out.
Right. We can agree in general is our problem. But when you
Big
start
picture.
breaking it down to the specifics, it gets a little bit more complex. Let's see here. And I think that's true of what's going on in Iran as well. Michael says, Richard said the app knows all, but it doesn't have the bumper music. I'm just saying. It's true. It's true.
Well, everything's not perfect, Michael. We wish we could make that happen. Maybe in time.
Thomas says, McDonald's was my first job. Minimum wage was $1.60 an hour. That $1.60 would buy you 2 burgers, fries, drink, and 3 gallons of gasoline.
He has it down to a science.
Yeah.
$1.60.
Damn, you're old, Thomas.
Wow, you really are.
You are really, really old. Just kidding, man. 7 o'clock with Dixon and Vining. Lots more show to go here. Stick around and feel free to drop us a line. 545-9950. Like I say, you can text us from the app if you're so inclined. No, it doesn't have the bumper music on it. Sorry.